Hey everyone, this is the Millionaire Hippies podcast with your host, Boom Shikha, where we chat about spirituality, business, and health. We all want to live self-actualizing, fulfilling lives with joy, prosperity, and gratitude. Let's go on this beautiful journey together.
Hey everyone, welcome to another podcast, another episode. I am so grateful that you guys are listening and you're following me and you're engaging with my content. In this podcast episode, I wanted to speak to you guys about the fact that 99.9% of the population is not going to do what is necessary in order for them to be successful, famous, rich, whatever it might be, right? Because most people are not willing to work over the long haul. There's so many times when people will ask me, what should I do in order to get more clients, or what should I do in order to do this or that, whatever it might be. There's a billion different things people ask. I always try to give them advice in the long-term view, because you could get a few clients right away, right now, or you could build a roster of clients that you never have to worry about ever again if you took a long-term view to it. So you could do certain things to build your following that you never ever run out of clients, or you could do some things right now that you'll get a few clients right now, but you're always going to be scrambling in the future to get more and more clients. That's just one example. And there's a billion other things. Blogging, same thing. You could just blog once or twice and hope that you will get followers and you'll get people coming into your website. Or you could just blog on certain topics that you know are current and are going to attract certain followers right now. Or you could blog with a long-term view where you blog once a week, every single week, no matter what's going on, no matter how many people are reading it, no matter how much is happening in terms of engagement, because this is your long-term strategy. You're building a body of work, you're building a blog post with hundreds and thousands of blog posts. So eventually people are going to come to your blog without you scrambling to get them there, without you pandering to anyone. They're just going to come because you have great content on there and they want to read your great content. So this is a long-term view of things. And I always, because I'm not the kind of person ever who had this kind of view before. So nowadays I always try to have a long-term view in everything that I do. And I'm really, really careful because there's a lot of things that you don't want to put your long-term effort into. And so those kind of things I'll just take off my plate right away. I just don't even bother with them. Like Snapchat, I don't want to bother with it because I know I'm not going to be able to do it long-term. I'm not interested in it. It's not something that appeals to me. I don't like the forum. I don't like the platform. I don't like the way it only lasts for a few hours. I don't like anything about it, really. So I'm not on Snapchat. I tried it for a few months, and I think I still have a profile on there. I haven't deleted it. But that's it. I don't actually do anything with it because I know that that's not something that I'm going to stick with long term. Writing, on the other hand, or blogging is my form. It is my platform. I love blogging. I love to write. I can write a 2,000-word post with no effort at all, and I can put it out there, and people love it. And that's the kind of form that's good for me because I can do it for a long time to come without any effort, real effort put into it. So I really want you guys to start thinking long term as well. Whatever you're doing in your life, it doesn't really matter. If it's related to fitness, if it's related to meditation, if it's related to drinking more water, if it's related to being more active, if it's related to your children, whatever it is, always try to have the long-term view versus the short-term. A lot of us, and I know this is a human nature, so it's not something that we should berate ourselves for, but we're all about instant gratification. We want to do something right now, and we want to reap the benefits of it in the next day or in the next week or the next month, and that's all. We don't want to wait for a year or 2 years or 10 years for our fruits to come to us. It seems like way too long to wait for something. And so a lot of times, if we have to wait for that long for our fruits to come to us, that we don't even bother with it. We just don't even go after it because there's no point to it. I don't want to bother with it. It's just a waste of time. So I don't want to do it. If you look at everything with the instant gratification view, then there's very few things that you're going to put your effort into. You're not going to learn a new language because why bother? It's going to take you a year or two. You're not going to bother learning to play a new instrument because, again, it's going to take you a while, and what's the point? You're not going to start a blog because it takes a long time to build a following, and why bother, right? It's not going to happen instantaneously. You're not going to start a meditation practice because a meditation is seriously one of those things that takes a long time to come to fruition. Of course, you can get instant benefits from it if you start a practice right now, but the real juice of it, the real stuff, comes when you've been practicing and meditating for a year or 2 years. And that's when you really start noticing a difference in the way you look at the world, in the way you're mentally processing things, in the way your mental space looks, in the way your physical body looks, in the way your spiritual body looks. It's really interesting how it changes everything, but it takes a little bit of time for it to get there. Again, you're not going to start a meditation practice if you're just going to think, oh, but I have to wait a year or two for the results. Why would I even bother right now? And the last same thing with fitness, right? I mean, a lot of people want to be fit. They want to be toned and they want to look a certain way. They want the six pack or whatever. But they're not willing to do the work because it takes a little bit of time, maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on where you're starting out from, to get to that point. And a lot of people are not willing to put in the effort to do that. That's the reason the fitness industry is such a $1 billion industry. I mean, because there's so many people trying to give you the magic pill, whereas there is really no magic pill, right? So instant gratification hits us all the time, and we don't want to work for that brilliant future because it's just too far away for us to really care about it. It's just too far away for us to think, oh, well, maybe one day I'll be there. We don't care. We want instant gratification. We want things to happen right now. And that's the reason what I do with a lot of my stuff that I do is that I break it down into small chunks. So my blogging, I do blogging once a week. I'll write a 2,000-word post on themillionairehippie.com. That's my thing. I do it every week. I don't even think about it. I don't talk about it. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know how many people are going to read it. I don't even think about the results at all. It's just a task on my to-do list, and I have to do it without questions, without asking anything, without wondering where it's going to go, without thinking about the results, without thinking about how long it's going to take. No questions asked, no questions answered, just doing the task. Same thing with my writing. I write 1,000 words every single day. I don't know where those words are going to go. I don't know how the novel is going to be perceived. I don't know if the people are going to like my words or are they going to hate it. I don't know any of that. But I make sure that I write every single day no matter what. That is a task I have to do. And that's a task that I do daily without question, without thinking about it, without talking about it, without asking people about it. It does not matter. It's a task on my list and I'm going to do it. Things like that. So I built in these tasks that is obviously future-based because if I write 1,000 words every single day, in 4 or 5 months I'll have a novel and then I can publish that novel. And every 4 or 5 months I'll have a new novel. And so I don't think about that obviously because it's just way too far off in the future for me to care. So I just wonder and think about the task that I have to do today. Same thing with this podcast. When I first started it a year ago, I didn't think about where I was going to go and how many times I was going to do it and what I was going to do with it and blah, blah, blah. I didn't think about any of that stuff. The only thing I said was that I'm going to record a podcast, I'm going to publish it every 2 or 3 days, and that's all. And that's what I do still as well. I have a task on my to-do list. Every few days, I have to record a podcast and I have to publish it. And that's all I do with it. I don't think about the future. I don't think about how many downloads I'm going to get. I don't think about how many sponsors I'm going to get. All of that stuff is not important. What's important is I need to do my work. I need to build a following. I need to build this base, this foundation. And the foundation takes time. It might take 5 years, it might take 10 years. You don't know how long. But all you can focus on is the present. All you can focus on is the right now. All you can focus on is that task that you have to do today. And the rest of it is not under your control. And that's one thing that I found with a lot of people is that we tend to worry about things that are not under our control. It's not under my control how many people are going to download my podcast. It's not under my control how many people are going to read my blog post. It's not under my control how many people are going to buy my novel. Those are things that are not under my control. So why should I spend any time worrying about it? It's a waste of my time and mental energy and energetic energy to waste on all of those questions and answers. They have no answers. I have no idea. I can make up numbers in my head, but they're all bullshit anyways, right? So I don't worry about that stuff because there's no point worrying about it because I can't control them. What I can control is my behavior. I can control what I do on a day-to-day basis. I can control my to-do list and the tasks on those to-do lists. I can control if I do those tasks or not. And so mainly my focus is always on doing the task, making sure that I do these tasks every week, no matter what the consequences might be. No matter what I have under control, I do have my behavior under control. And that's the only thing really that we control on this planet. We barely even control our own bodies nowadays because there's so much pollution and so much stuff coming into it. We don't know what's going to happen to us. So the only thing we can control is our behavior. and our attitude towards this world. I can control what I can control. The rest is up to the universe. And I trust and have faith in the universe. The universe is going to give me what I deserve, and everything's going to work out for the best. And I know that's going to happen because it always happens that way, because the universe loves all of us and wants the best for all of us. But we can't worry about all that stuff. The universe can take care of all of that because the universe is much more powerful than us. All we need to do is worry about the present moment. What am I doing right now? I'm recording a podcast. Why am I recording it? Doesn't matter. I'm recording it so I can put it up so people can listen to my thoughts and they can either process it and use it or ignore it, and that's all. Like, I can't control their reaction. I can't control who downloads it, but all I can control is putting the podcast out there. I hope this makes sense to you guys, the whole concept of long-term versus short-term and things that we do have control over. If you guys enjoyed this and if you want to join my team, you can go on to patreon.com/boomshika, and I'll talk to you guys in the next podcast episode. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Go check out my website at themillionairehippie.com if you want more free, awesome content. If you really like the podcast, please consider giving me a 5-star review on iTunes. Until next time, namaste.